My principal commitment as an artist is to return art to the community. Pepón, Osorio. Born in 1955 in Santurce, Puerto Rico, Pepón Osorio is a mixed-media artist primarily concerned with installations and video to portray social and political issues. He is best known for large-scale installations that address street life, cultural clashes, and the rites of passages experienced by Puerto Ricans in the United States. He was educated at the Universidad Interamericana in Puerto Rico and Herbert H. Lehman College in New York and received an MA from Columbia University in 1985. Osorio's pieces, influenced by his experience as a social worker in the Bronx, usually evolve from an interaction with the neighborhoods and the people among which he is working. At the time in the 80s, he was primarily concerned with capturing the Puerto Rican and Nuyorican identity as someone who lived in Puerto Rico. During the 1990s, Osorio began to work with video, which prompted his entrance into the mainstream art world. His piece, Scene of the Crime, Whose Crime?, was displayed at the Whitney Biennial, and in this piece, there is a mannequin on the floor that represents a woman who was murdered by her husband. Her body is separated by the viewer by police tape along with personal items that would have belonged to the murdered lady. Through this piece, Osorio brings to the public's attention the issue of misrepresentation through the U.S. mainstream media, more specifically within the film industry. Films depicting negative Latino stereotypes frame the space of the installation in order to more clearly emphasize Pepón's message. Pepón uses the film as a way to be there in the piece when he can't be there physically. Osorio decided after the Whitney Biennial that he wouldn't have any more work in mainstream art museums unless it is first shown to the Puerto Rican community. This is a result of the controversy surrounding what kind of art and which social groups should and could be shown in the museum. His focus on the Latino body didn't fulfill his intentions of shedding more light upon the Puerto Rican community, though it did bring attention to his own personal work. This video will mainly be focusing on Osorio's piece, En la barbería no se llora, or No Crying Aloud in the Barbershop. It is outside of the traditional museum setting and commissioned by Real Artways, RAW, a non-profit art space from Hartford, Connecticut. From 1994, En la barbería no se llora It's a mixed-media installation located in the Puerto Rican community of Park Street in Hartford. When asked about the installation, Pepón Osorio commented, "No crying aloud in the barbershop. It's about recreating my memory. When I was 5 years old, my father took me to get my first haircut right around the neighborhood, and what was meant to be a celebration became a disastrous event. I was crying a lot, I was scared. What traumatized me wasn't so much the haircut itself, but the way that this barber dealt with my kind of hair. That experience was a combination of race and a rite of passage into becoming a little man." This piece functions as a sort of quasi-gauntlet to the Puerto Rican community of Hartford and the general Puerto Rican diaspora as a whole. Osorio brashly questions machismo's role in the Puerto Rican community through a visual treatment of intensely masculine symbols within a traditionally male-only space, the barbershop. Osorio uses barber chairs, car seats, sports paraphernalia, depictions of sperm and a boy's circumcision, as well as phallic symbols and male action figures to demonstrate the intense concentration of machismo in Latino communities, as well as chucheria, including Puerto Rican flags, religious ornaments, plastic toys, dolls, beads, ribbons, etc., all of which function to demonstrate the pride the Latinos feel about their culture. According to the Khan Academy essay, as well as art historian Ana Indich Lopez, chucheria in Osorio's work functions as a gesture of cultural resistance, presented as something universal yet personal through fake Connecticut foliage and famous Latino men. In a culture that differentiates from their origins, that forces Nuyorican to assimilate while not affording them the same rights as other citizens, such as being a territory and not being allowed to vote for presidents, choosing to conform to the tastes and values of the Nuyorican community rather than the mainstream American community is an act of resistance. Created in collaboration with local residents, Osorio engaged the Hartford public through conversations, workshops, and artistic collaborations. Within the piece, there are video installations featuring Latino men from Park Street in Hartford in stereotypically masculine poses. The men vary in age. Osorio included older men from the retirement home Casa del Elderly in order to present the issue of machismo as a multi-generational issue that is deeply ingrained in New Rican culture. To juxtapose this construction, the artist also included videos of men crying, with the public reacting with both sympathy and disgust. These same men then participated in workshops in which they discussed how their notions of masculinity had been shaped by their personal relationships as brothers, husbands, and fathers, which relates back to the original quote that Osorio had regarding his first experience with his haircut. For my Beyond European Tradition piece, I am focusing on the Ikenga figures from the Igbo people. The Igbo are from present-day Nigeria. The Ikenga figurines are made of wood and were made circa the 19th and 20th centuries. They are carved wooden figures with human faces and zoomorphic attributes. They vary in height, pose, and style, ranging from small naturalistic to large and very abstract. The biggest consistency is the horns. The figures always have horns, though they change with the figure and style in use. The horns symbolize power. Traditionally, as a man rose up in the power hierarchy within the community, a man could recommission Ikenga to extend the horns. This was essentially a symbol of power and authority. The Ikenga figures functioned as personal gods of achievement and success. They were placed within a man's shrine within his house after being consecrated, and they have masculine associations of strength and potency. They tell of the owner's morality, prosperity, achievements, genealogy, social rank. These figures personified machismo within the Igbo community. Ikenga means strong right arm, thus implies physical prowess. They honor right hands, which holds tools, powers, makes sacrifices, conducts rituals, and alerts to speak at public forums. When the Ikenga figurines do have arms, the right arm almost always holds a sword, and the left holds a whole host of things, from staffs to elephant tusks, and etc. Ikenga figurines are always maintained in the man's shrine at home. However, when the owner dies, the Ikenga figures are destroyed because they are viewed as the man's personal god and a personal symbol that is unique to their own achievements and lifetime. So I'm going back in and editing this, but I realized I forgot to say why the Ikengas all have horns. So they all have ram's horns specifically because they symbolize aggressiveness and ambition, because the Igbo people believe that rams fight with the head, and the head initiates all good action. Therefore, the ram becomes a symbol of masculinity and machismo.